I'm the best in the world.
What I'd like to have right now.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
And I was right when I was cool.
Are you ready?
It doesn't matter!
I said, are you ready?
I'm a sexy beast, baby!
I was up all night.
And
For Life Wrestling Podcast. When you listen to your podcast, you listen to it for life. There's no need at this point, but I'll let you know just then, guys. It's Cheyenne here with my main man, Bosch. Lots to talk about, lots of feedback this week, and the wrestling world still talking about arguably the number one story. It's dying down a little bit. Is that safe? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, we got a few chants during Raw, but it seems to have died down a bit from last week. I'm still hearing that we're getting chants in the crowds. There were reports of, there was a group of fans that kind of got together to make up a story that they were kicked out of the arena for chanting CM Punk.
That was stupid.
I know they wouldn't do that, and they only kick people out if they're rowdy or causing a problem. They don't kick people out for chanting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would kick arenas out for chanting yes when they weren't supposed to, or
Yeah, come on now, that's
or we went right or whatever.
But why do you think those fans made up that story just for the attention?
Yeah, I mean, I heard Don Tony say that he found a group on Facebook of the guys that actually put that plot together. It was a We Want Punk group, and they were like, oh, who's going to be at the show on Monday? And they plotted to put this whole thing together, and it was on Facebook, so... So a group of guys decided to post on Twitter that they were kicked out of the arena just to get attention.
That's just beyond lame to me, though.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? They're marks. I mean, if you're listening to our show, if you're one of these people, let us know, and you can let us know why you did this on 4lifepodcast.com in the Contact Us section.
That's right, and not only that, if you contact us on the website and explain to us why you did that, you're going to get an autograph 8x10 of me and Bosch. That's a fair trade. A written explanation for an autograph of E-list celebrities.
Thank you. And I will send you a picture of myself dressed as CM Punk for Halloween, since you love Punk so much.
Oh, I'm gonna send an email because I want that picture blown up. That picture makes me laugh every time. If you got to do, and then maybe for his birthday, we'll send the pictures of me with the robe and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a fair trade. For what you were making it sound, Raw was a pretty decent show. Not as good as last week's, but it did seem like a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the main event immensely. I really did, not just the fact that, it was the first main event that I watched in God knows how long. Yeah. It was just a great match. I thought the crowd was not behind it too much until, the very, very end, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's when it picked up.
Yeah. So, I just want to talk about, because you got my feelings on this as soon as it happened. So, I really had a problem with the Kane and Ryan deal.
I mean, like I said, he's inheriting CM Punk's program.
I hope not, because that's another one that doesn't make sense. So it just doesn't make sense to me, because Kane and Daniel Bryan haven't really been interacting, and then I know from reading the SmackDown spoilers, that rivalry does in fact seem to be building.
I mean, I'm not sure why it would make, because they're not going to fight at the pay-per-view because Daniel Bryan is in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's the whole history of Team Hell No, but other than that, they haven't really interacted much since Kane joined the Authority.
I mean...
Ironically, the only time I think they did interact was when Kane booked them in the handicap match against the Wyatts.
Right.
And he did that little yes.
Right.
So, I mean, I can see them maybe fighting on a Raw, maybe the Raw after Chamber.
Even though, to be honest with you, the two of them interacting
Hmm.
does help if it happens at all, because everything really is in the air as far as I'm concerned, including the John Cena Bray Wyatt match. It
I
does.
mean, that seems to be the one that doesn't really have much to do with any of the other stories.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like I said, while I'm not crazy about that match, it does add on to the possible Daniel Bryan Triple H match.
Yeah. I mean, and here's an idea. I don't know if I ran it by you earlier this week or not, but for Mania, like having Daniel Bryan face Triple H, like in the opening match, and if
But
and
yeah, then
Bryan wins, and he can be placed in a triple threat in the main event, and then go on and win the belt. I mean, I don't know if WWE would do that, but like I know Bryan can definitely pull off double duty, and I mean I know Bret Hart did it 20 years ago at Mania. He was in the opening match and then won the belt in the main event. I mean, I know that wasn't really connected. It wasn't like he had to beat Owen to fight for the belt, but I mean, just an idea of like a
well, I
storyline.
think the build-up for that was just to make Brett look like the hitter.
Yeah.
I'm not against that idea at all, and I feel like WWE feels like it is almost beneath them to go back to the old school theories with some of their ideas, because that would be great for any superstar
Yeah.
in any situation, honestly. Especially that one, especially Daniel Bryan, considering what he's been going through. But you did mention that to me, and again, I think that's a fantastic idea. Will it happen? Probably not.
No, it probably won't, but it would be a
Yeah,
pretty good idea.
exactly. I mean, like I said, it's not the best time, but then again, if it is going to build to the Triple H match, it does make sense, because Kane is, I guess, the Authority's monster. He hasn't really been a monster as of late, but
Yeah.
that is the way to put it.
Hmm.
So I'm not against it at all. But I mean, was there any other highlights from Raw that I didn't see? Because I was very fortunate to get out early because of the storm.
Yeah. There was opposing promos by the Wyatts and the Shield.
Okay,
I
all
thought
right.
those were
They're
pretty good.
each other on at the chamber. What are your thoughts on that before I chime in?
I mean, like I mentioned last week, I think that they really want to get. I know they know that the fans really want to see this match, and since Wyatt's tied up at Mania with Cena, and it looks like they'll probably go on the triple threat route with the Shield, and they'll probably be breaking them up. I think they wanted to give the fans the six man before they decide to break up the Shield, and it'll probably lead to their breakup. And I
Right.
think for once, like I know that we complain that they don't give us what we want, but I know they teased this feud like a few months back, and I think they know that they're on the verge of pulling the plug on the Shield and splitting them up. So I guess they want to give us this match. I mean, they've
Do
faced
you
every
think?
other
Do you think
possible trio.
some people that I talked to felt this way? Do you think it's too late for that match?
I don't think so. I think like the two promos they had on Monday on each other, I thought they were pretty well done. Maybe between now and Chamber, they can have like maybe singles matches between them, or I don't. I mean, because I know on Monday they each had them in six-man tags, and so I'm not sure what else they can do from here. But I know we still have like 2 more weeks before Chamber.
Right. I
So
mean, I got a lot of feedback saying
I
that they
mean, it's a
dropped
little strange because
whatever it was, October, November, and I disagreed completely.
I mean the weird thing is right now is that they set up this John Cena feud with Bray Wyatt, and now they've kind of forgotten about it for the time being until Chamber, and then they're probably going to go back to it. I'm guessing they'll find a way to get Cena out of the Elimination Chamber just to bring that feud back after they're
I
done with the
actually think
Shield.
that not necessarily that they forgot about it, that they're just so worried about Mania that they're just doing this.
Yeah. Well, I think this
WWE,
is more like since Cena's in the Chamber, they're trying to, I guess, because there's no way that we're gonna have that Chamber without Cena,
right?
and I think they just wanted to get this
Which is
Wyatt
kind of
Shield match.
selfish, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean they wanted to get this Wyatt Shield match done. I'm pretty sure that the Wyatts will be the ones to cost Cena the belt at the Chamber. I actually thought of an idea. I told you a few weeks ago. I forgot to mention it last week on the show. Just like the lights go out, like as they're doing like that little countdown with the spotlights on the pods. Like somehow Cena disappears from his pod, like caused by the Wyatts, or like Bray Wyatt appears in the pod with him, and then they both disappear. Some crazy shit like that.
I mean, honestly,
I mean, it could be done. If there's one match that could be done, it's the Chamber because there's so much space under the Chamber that they can easily
right,
put like a trap door down there, kind of like when Shawn interfered with Jericho and Undertaker.
yeah. I I mean, that idea sounds fantastic to me. And again, I just don't think, not that they forgot about it, but,
I don't think they
there's...
forgot about it. I think they just kind of put it to the side, or maybe they want the fans to forget about it, so that they're putting the focus on the Shield match, so that when the Chamber match does happen, it's like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot they were feuding with Cena, and then it's going to lead into Mania.
Right.
And then there's also rumors of the group that does Wyatt's music is going to perform it at Mania.
I have not heard that. Who reported that? I did not hear that this week.
It was actually the singer of the group. He kind of revealed it on Twitter. He was like he couldn't hold it in, and he revealed it. But I heard that he's going to be having a live performance for his entrance.
Who sings that?
I gotta look it up. We'll keep talking while I look for it.
I mean, again, I just think it's not. WWE has a lot going on right now. It's pretty crazy that with.
I mean, between the Mania build-up and the network and Punk leaving, like they must be going nuts back there.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy with Punk and the network and with this fan feedback with Daniel Bryan, how in not disarray, but how crazy right now creative is.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on this real quick before we get into SmackDown. You and I were in New York, obviously, and there were rumors going around that Seattle Seahawks, after their Super Bowl win and stuff, they were going. It was talked about before the Super Bowl, but with the Seattle Seahawks, whatever the fuck their name is, winning the Super Bowl, that Seattle was going to get Extreme Rules, and it's been announced at the Izod Center.
Yeah, that one caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, as a New York native, I'm really, really happy about that, and because it's a pay-per-view opportunity for not just, me, but for you and I to go to, because, that's one of the few things you and I have never done together, talking as friends now, getting a little personal, but I genuinely think that WWE dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks are fresh off the Super Bowl. They have nothing to do. You can get Richard Sherman. You can get the whole team there. Yeah. And then you got the hometown guy right now is Daniel Bryan.
I mean, I definitely agree. I was under the impression they were going to be in Seattle, but I know the arena put out a message earlier prior to the Izod announcement that they weren't going to be hosting Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I caught that. I just thought it was a really bad, I guess just a PR, PR choice for them. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, Richard Sherman is the most popular NFL player right now from Seattle. Daniel Bryan, the most popular wrestler right now. He's growing every day. They're doing yes chants at basketball games and football and all that stuff. Yeah. He's from Seattle. That there was so much money to be made on that table.
I remember the ovation that he got at the Slammies in Seattle.
Slammies, yes. At the Slammies.
You had a ring full of every champion with Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Triple H, Cena, and all these people, and they were chanting for Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Mick Foley, Booker T. You had all these great champions and Hall of Famers, and they were all chanting for Bryan.
Yeah, and then, not just that, I kind of thought back to Benoit. You remember when Benoit won the belt at Mania, right?
Yes.
Well, he won it in New York, and then, the next pay-per-view was in Canada.
Yeah.
Was in Canada. I kind of felt like, you could have even gone that way with Bryan. Have him win at Mania, because, again, there's rumors around that possible situation. Have him win at Mania, and then, bring him home. I mean... I don't know. I was really that really bothered me that WWE would let such an opportunity slip through the cracks.
Yeah, I mean, I know as much as I would love for it to be in this area, I just think I don't know, it's just a mistake. I think it would have been great if they did have Seattle, and just we saw how great that crowd was, and imagine if that crowd got Daniel Bryan winning the belt.
Yeah.
It would have kind of come full circle. He could have had his family there.
Do you want to go?
I guess we can see what our budget's like. I know you have Mania coming up, and I have a lot coming up, but we can definitely... I mean, I know that I think the tickets go on sale on the 22nd, from what I heard.
I could do, I'm going to get a $50 or $75 ticket,
Yeah. I can see what my budget's looking like. I know the network starts that week as well, and...
Oh, yeah. I got that I've got the network that week. I've got my flight. We'll talk about it, but I wouldn't mind. For that event, I haven't been to the Izod Center since it's been renovated. So, I mean, yeah, 50 to 75. I wouldn't mind going.
I mean, the last time I was at the Izod Center, we won a Slammy for it, so.
Oh, well, that means there's no reason I shouldn't win one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 50 to 75. I'm interested in going.
Yeah. Speaking of hometown crowds, how do you think that crowd is going to be on March 2nd for Raw in Chicago?
You know, believe it or not, I don't have any guesses. It's going to be very vocal, if nothing else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't think they're going to do anything illegal or rowdy. I just think they're going to chant CM Punk throughout the whole show.
Oh, let me tell you something. Chicago is going to be one of the more disrespectful fucking crowds that we've had in a while.
Like, they might top Izod from Raw After Mania.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I mean, it'll be a different vibe, though. It won't be, hey, we're going to chant whatever we want and start dancing the Fandango song. It's going to be, we're just going to chant Punk. Like, I can see it being crazier than maybe Money in the Bank 2011.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that bad in terms of, like, you know, the Izod Center. No, I can't go with you on that one because Izod was, you know, the Izod Center wasn't being selfish about one person. You know, Chicago.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, we went crazy for Ziggler. We chanted a bunch of random names during the Sheamus Orton match, and then we started the Fandango song. So, and then the rest of the show, we were just doing the Fandango. So. That was pretty. I mean, that's pretty much what it was. And then booing Cena, which is every crowd, but. Oh, and we cheered Wade Barrett over Miz.
I mean, but you didn't go for just one guy, right?
I mean, with the exception of Fandango.
That's not that big a deal, though. Versus, you know, versus freaking
Punk.
Versus just doing it Punk in Chicago. You know, he's very over there.
Yeah.
You know? So I just see Chicago hijacking the show for one guy versus for just having a good time like the New Jersey crowd.
Imagine he like bought like a first row ticket. Imagine he has like a first row ticket and he's just sitting in the front row.
Yeah. You know,
like I think if anybody would do that, it would be Punk.
Yeah.
Like he would wear like a hoodie throughout the whole show and just like take it off or some shit.
You don't think if he did that, you don't think somebody's gonna spot him?
If he had like a hoodie or if he wore like a Mysterio mask or
you can't go into the arena wearing the hoodie though. You have to go through the box office. If he was to go like that route, he has to make it through the fucking arena. Yeah. Number two, he has to like, you know, show his ticket at the thing or whatever, and he cannot have his hoodie on when he's doing that.
Yeah, because I know Jericho did it, but he was part of the roster when he was feuding with Mysterio.
Oh, but when Jericho did that, though, it was different because he was already in the arena. They put him in the plant during the break.
Yeah.
You know, Punk, the scenario we're talking about, Punk's going in there, you know, he's going in there blind.
Yeah. I mean, just some fantasy booking.
I mean, it's unfortunate because those are some of the best ideas, but, you know. Real quick, speaking of fantasy booking, not really, it's not the same thing, but can we please talk about this anonymous fan letter? Because I've got some thoughts on this.
Okay, let me see if...
I mean, anonymous wrestler letter or employee or whatever. I got to talk about it.
Alright, did I send you a picture of it, or...?
You did send me a picture of it, but since I read the one last week, I thought it was fair if you read the one for this week.
Alrighty, here we go. Okay, I don't have my glasses, but... Honestly, Punk is being a little bitch. I liked him so much before his run leading to and after that Money in the Bank in Chicago. He's a guy where you have to be really in his circle for him to, I guess, open up, which I understand, but being put in a feud with Kane and then Triple H at Mania is not a bad thing. Now, I understand he feels this is his last Mania and he wants to main event, and really, with the right storyline, that match could main event. But literally, after Tribute to the Troops incident, he's been difficult. There are so many there that want his spot that I want to say, I need a weekend off to go to UFC. I really and fully believe that he's a little jealous of the crowd reactions to Bryan, and it's getting to him. He's just been such a dick lately. That interview with Ariel, he acted like he was the victim at the troops taping. Then Michelle was just joking. Little bitch AJ took it to the wrong level. Do you really think AJ would have a pipe bomb interview time or the longest divas chant BS if she wasn't dating Punk? Punk doesn't Punk really doesn't want to be the face of the company. That's BS. I hate hearing that shit. He says he does it, but this isn't ROH or OVW. He would he would bitch so much if he had to do Michael and Kelly at 9 a.m., then fly to a different state for Raw, do a Make-A-Wish at 1 p.m., and then Raw, and then do SmackDown, and do something Wednesday to fly home, Thursday to be on the road Friday or Saturday. No way he can handle that for 4 months. He may come back as soon as Monday, or he may never come back, but if never comes back, this person can't write, he better remember how many fans he's fucking over right now. The same fans he believes the same way he believes the WWE is fucking him over. And I'm not defending Vince or Triple H, especially Triple H, because people are seeing that Triple H is taking over isn't as cool as they thought it would be. Outlaws, Nash, X-Pac, Flair, HBK, Batista. Yeah, must be nice to be one of Triple H's friends.
Yeah, aside from all the damn typos in that letter, let me first talk about... I'm actually going to go from backwards on this.
Okay.
This is my beef. My biggest beef with that letter, believe it or not, was this. Bosh, how long was Kevin Nash in the Rumble this year?
Less than entrant time span. Like, by the next entrant, he was gone, I think.
When was the last X-Files on WWE TV?
Raw 1000.
When was the last time he wrestled a WWE ring?
Since he was an X Factor?
Okay. Flair has only made 2 appearances in the last 4 months, right?
Yep.
And Shawn Michaels is a regular guest star on Raw and WWE TV since his retirement, correct?
Correct.
So that statement, as far as I'm concerned, has no water to it. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to have a legitimate gripe about Batista's returning, for regardless of the reason, I get that, because a lot of people have a problem with that. The Outlaws being brought back, I actually do have a problem with that, but yeah. It does not bother me, because...
considering how much... have you heard the Outlaws shoot interviews?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so I think that's my biggest issue with that. It's like... And then just even that whole storyline they did in TNA when they were the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Yeah, and not only that, in the same shoot interview that you and I have seen, they shit on Triple H and Michaels, but at the end they're like, I would give my left nut to have a contract back with WWE. In the same shoot interview. So, the Batista thing, that's a legitimate gripe. I think it's been blown out of proportion at this point from everyone, including wrestling fans and wrestlers. But, that makes sense to me because people have, in fact, been complaining about that. Yeah. The Outlaws, their coming back was to build the CM Punk storyline with Triple H. So that makes sense to me, which is why I wasn't honestly bothered by it. But I don't know who this guy was.
The Outlaws can still... they've been doing a pretty decent job. It's not like...
Oh, the Outlaws can still work.
Yeah, it's not like they're out there, stinking out the joint or, so...
again, this was all to build the storyline against Punk. Should it have been Punk? No, it should have been Daniel Bryan wrestling Triple H if Daniel Bryan wasn't wrestling for the WWE title.
Yeah.
Again, my opinion, and yours, too, because we seem to agree on that. I just felt like whoever this guy is, it's definitely not a top star, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It seems like somebody who's buried and somebody who doesn't know the English language. If we had 1 million followers, Bosh, you would get so much heat for the way you read that letter, but I know you read it the way it's written.
Yeah, I know there was some typos in there, and it was tough to read certain parts, but...
Yeah, and one thing about the CM Punk thing, with Tributes to the Troops and Michelle Beadle, listen, there's 3 different versions of that story, so any fans that want to contribute to that,
yeah,
they shouldn't, because there are many conflicting stories about that. It seemed like all the boys and the people that were there know what went down that night, and rightfully so. Nobody has any reason to speculate anymore.
Yeah.
It's old, it happened. Does it seem like Punk was the victim now than, back then? honestly, not so much. But again, nobody knows what happened tonight but the boys, so we should all leave it at that. That's collectively. Um, things on that letter are right, but a lot of things on it are wrong.
Yeah.
So, again, it's just, for me, it's kind of tough. But I didn't enjoy that letter because it just seems like somebody trying to get a name for themselves, and they did it in the wrong
Oh, but
fashion.
how are they making a name for themselves if they're not putting their own name out there?
I said trying.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what else happened on Raw. There seems to be a lot of eye injuries going around. Roman Reigns got stitches under his eye.
It's wrestling pink eye epidemic.
I mean, I know Cena was out. Cena missed Raw because he got poked in the eye by Orton. I'm not sure what happened to Reigns.
Right?
Huh?
Was that Saturday night or whatever, right?
Yeah, it was at a house show, and I'm not sure what happened to Roman Reigns, but it might have been with Big E, and he had stitches under his eye. Oksana dropped a knee on Naomi's eye. It's the you can't see me edition. I don't know.
Why does Oksana get so much heat for anything? Like I read so many shitty comments just burying her. Like, dude, she's not bad. She didn't want to hurt her on purpose.
I mean, I guess people's issue with her is that she can't wrestle. That's what they say.
I think she's okay. I mean, she's not a fabulous moolah, but I think she's okay.
I mean, I think the issue now with the women's division is they try to make every woman wrestle. I think back in the day, like, you never saw Miss Elizabeth have a match. You never saw Sunny have a match.
Right.
Like some women could work as valets and some can work as wrestlers. I mean, some can do both, but I think
I missed about my generation, especially that 2000s era, because you never saw Stacy Keibler in the ring. You rarely saw Tori in the ring.
Even then, they put those girls out quite a bit.
That 2002 to 2006 period, there were roles for everybody, and of course in the 80s and 90s, everybody had their distinguished places. So I think that's something that I definitely miss about wrestling. I think they put Oksana to wrestle because, if I'm not mistaken, she was doing a thing with Goldust, right?
I know they had like a wedding on NXT.
Yeah, the wedding thing. I think the reaction from that didn't do for NXT what they wanted.
Yeah.
So they went ahead and put her in the ring. I like the angle, to be honest with you. There was that, and what else was there? Another thing is like Maurice. When her thing with the belt ended, they put her with Ted DiBiase. DiBiase didn't really get over that much, and then Maurice was getting buried in the ring. So like, if scenario A doesn't work out, they don't even consider B because scenario A didn't go the way that they planned, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
So I mean,
did you see Emma's debut?
No, I keep hearing that she's hot, and I keep hearing that she's good.
I mean, she's a great wrestler. I think her debut flopped horribly.
Really?
I mean, it was pretty much Santino who's been out. He came out to have a dance off with Fandango, and then he said, "Oh, I'm gonna call out somebody from the audience," and then he called Emma was there, and she did her dance. I don't know. I mean, have you seen her dance on NXT?
No.
She basically just puts her arms out, like, waves them back and forth. I mean, if I can't even describe it over the radio, but
One of the things. Oh no, I did see the dance. Oh, and I saw her too. I watched Miz versus Fandango on Main Event in a pretty good match, and I did see her. She's blonde, right?
yeah, she was from Landstorm.
I'll tell you that.
She trained at the Storm Academy.
Oh, well, that means she's a great wrestler.
She is a great wrestler. She's had great matches on NXT. I just think that dance is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things.
Don Tony said she looked like she was a blind person looking for the bathroom.
One of the things I'm looking forward to with the network is getting up to date with the NXT.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's decently good looking if nothing else. But I haven't seen her work yet. I definitely know that she cannot dance.
It's not even a dance. She's just moving her arms out like.
It looks like she's walking like a handicapped Egyptian.
Yeah.
And I know that I can't use that word because
Santino was trying really hard to like get the audience to cheer for her. Like he was like nodding his head no. He's like, "Do you want Summer Rae to win?" And he's saying no. And then he's like, "But do you want Emma to win?" And he's like, it was tough to watch.
I mean,
I mean, hopefully her in ring makes up for it, but
yeah, but you know something, Bosch, with the way the women's division is and the way that the WWE audience perceives it, that may not help her.
yeah,
Just it's not, it's not the way it was, even 10 years ago.
yeah.
I support the Be a Star campaign, but she did dance like a handicapped Egyptian.
Or a blind person looking for the.
I know I'm not supposed to use that word because it's not PC. At least I didn't use the other word, but she was dancing like a handicapped Egyptian.
Yeah.
That's
Trying to, they also built up the Alberto and Batista feud on Raw.
Yeah, I saw that. And one thing we're going to get into, speaking of which, so Alberto is thinking of leaving.
Yeah, I read that.
My beef with that is that, Alberto for the last, if I'm wrong or if I'm off, you can gladly correct me. For about, a year and a half, 2 years, a lot of reports about, Del Rio just being kind of a jerk have been like circulating out there.
Yeah.
And I know at one point a report came out there about his attitude and how he handles things, and it included Taker saying that, well, from the backstage report, of course, Taker being like, he doesn't know how lucky and fortunate he is to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Del Rio, Del Rio's a solid worker and everything, but I don't think. Well, one thing I have to say in his defense is that it's booking. Del Rio has not been booked very well since becoming heel again.
Since his first 6 months.
No,
I think
he had a good first 2 years.
I mean, I think for me it was like he had a great build up. He won the Rumble, and I thought like he was gonna win the belt against Edge at Mania,
Right.
and I think that kind of took away from his push when he didn't win. And then the following month, they gave the belt to Christian, and I think he didn't win it until I think it was the Money in the Bank when he got it from Punk after Nash attacked him at SummerSlam.
Oh, not Money in the Bank, SummerSlam.
No, he won. He cashed in the Money in the Bank at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like I think if he would have beaten Edge at Mania, like that wouldn't have taken. I think that just took away all the steam he had behind him because he came in pretty strong. He beat Mysterio right off the bat. He beat. I know he injured Christian. Like he came in, he was strong. Like he had the vignettes leading into his debut.
I don't. I can't.
And then I think
I
think when they turned him face, that was a huge mistake because they were trying way too hard to make him like another Eddie Guerrero,
Oh yeah, and then another thing.
and that wasn't working at all. Huh?
Another thing about that was, I mean, it worked for about the first month and a half, 2 months. I remember that it was going over pretty well. But one of the worst things that you can do is, first of all, Del Rio is not the best interview face or heel. I'm sorry. He's not the best interview face or heel, but when you have somebody whose mic skills are not that great, cutting a promo after every match, that does not help.
I mean, he worked well in like sound bits and his vignettes, or just like giving that smile to the camera. I think that's probably the one thing he had going for him was that smile that you just wanted to like slap the shit out of him. Like, oh, I'm rich, look at me.
Smile. You can smile for days. You can smile for days, and that only gets you a toothpaste deal. That can't get you good mic skills.
I know.
No. I never really saw him he's a fantastic worker.
Yeah.
I just never really saw him as much of a mouthpiece, I guess.
I mean, I would have loved to see him work with Eddie if Eddie was still around.
Eddie would have squashed him.
I mean, knowing Eddie, he probably would have done his best to like help him out and kind of like he helped Mysterio look good, and I think he would have tried his best to like put him over and push him, like kind of like, okay, you're gonna take my place once I'm gone, you know? I mean, what, he debuted in what, 2010?
Was it 10 or late 9? I think 10 sounds right.
Yeah, it was like mid 10, so it was like, I mean, I know it was like a good 5 years after Eddie passed, but he would have been like in his 40s by then. I mean, I don't even know if he would have still been competing by then, if he was still around, you know?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes Chavo, when he does interviews, kind of insinuates that Eddie would have left Yes.
Did you get a chance to check out that Chavo interview on the Jericho
My
podcast?
goal that's my goal for after we check this out. You know, I'm going backwards. I'm definitely starting with the Benoit part.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Both of them were pretty intense. It was.
But I feel like Chavo kind of insinuates that Eddie would have like left WWE,
I mean, he was already 39 when he passed.
right?
38 or 39. So I mean, that was almost a decade ago. So he would have been going on 50 soon. You know, like he would be what, like 47,
That means we would have
46.
had his retirement before Shawn Michaels in theory,
Hmm.
because I Shawn Michaels is younger than Eddie. I know that.
Okay, yeah. Sean and Taker are both the same age. They're both
They just
they're gonna be 49 this year.
no didn't Taker just turn 50?
No, they're both born 65.
Oh, okay, so yeah, 59 it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we would have had Eddie's retirement before Shawn's. What do you think about Benoit's?
Benoit's he was also, I mean, he was 40 when he passed, right? In
Yeah.
'07. Okay, so might have gotten a few, maybe like 3 or 4 more years out of him.
And then he was in BCW champion and stuff. I think you would have seen like 3 or 4 years of straight retirements had they still been around.
I mean, I think they both would have made, like, they probably would have stuck around as like road agents maybe, or
Oh, I know for a fact that Benoit would have stood around as an
yeah,
agent.
especially because Dean was a road agent, so they would have stuck with him.
Yeah,
So,
there's tons of ways you can look at that
mhm.
whole scenario. I mean, it's sometimes it's pretty crazy, just looking at the fact that not just they're not here, but as a fan, you kind of get like, so since they're not here, what would they have done?
Yeah, I mean, another topic that's been a big issue this week is the list of pay-per-views for the network came out, and I guess there's a lot of controversy over the Edge being on there.
Oh, that has been blown so out of
I mean, even
proportion.
I heard that Stephanie did a interview and she said that the Owen stuff is edited out of the pay-per-view out of respect to Owen. I mean,
Hmm.
if they're showing Benoit, I don't see why they wouldn't just have that. I mean, just have the show. I mean, it's if people want to watch it, they can watch it. If people don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it.
Yeah,
Nobody's forcing
Benoit's
it.
a very pivotal point of the 2000 and 2004 WWE landscape.
Yeah,
So,
because I
it's
know there
on.
was like that year that he was out with a neck injury.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think people are like, if it's people's choice. If you're ordering this network, you can watch what you want. You don't have to watch it. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. I doubt they're gonna put it on their live stream.
I think the unanimous thing about, the Chris Benoit scenario is that it's not necessarily wrestling fans. It's those who are not wrestling fans that have a problem with it. And if you are a wrestling fan that feels a certain way about um
I mean, I personally, I don't agree with what he did, and I'm against it, and I don't
oh,
support it.
ooh.
But if it's on the network, okay. If his matches are on there, okay. I've seen some of his matches since he's passed, and okay, his matches are good. It's still hard to watch, but if I'm in the mood to watch it, I'll watch it. If I don't want to watch it, if I want to skip it, I will skip it.
So
It's that
you
simple.
do see yourself, and I totally understand that you don't support what he did. Obviously, it's murder.
Hmm.
So because you feel that way, do you see yourself skipping his matches, segments, XYZ?
I mean, I've when I was last year, I watched all the manias leading into Mania, and I watched his matches.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just a tough subject. But again, I don't,
As far
especially
as supporting him, no, I mean, I
for
had his
those
autograph. I had his
2000,
autograph, and I sold it on eBay
I
because I
can't
didn't
skip
want it.
that.
You know?
I can't skip his reigns in 2000 and 2004
Yeah.
because he was such a pivotal part.
I mean, like I was saying, I had his autograph. I sold it on eBay because I didn't want it. Like personally, I don't agree with what he did, and
How did you get his autograph? I didn't even know that. You don't tell me anything.
I'm sorry. It was during WrestleMania 20, like when all the superstars were in town.
Oh my God, yes. I actually, you know what? I do remember that you got his autograph and you sold it. What'd you get for it?
Huh? I think I got like 50 for it.
I would have bought it from you.
I'm sorry. I mean, Yeah, I met him in Angle at Penn Station.
Penn Station. That's right. They were
Hudson
together.
Hudson
That's
News.
right.
I
That's
remember
right.
that's I guess like the rumor started circulating about Brock leaving. So the guy in front of me asked Kurt, "Oh, I heard that you're leaving after Mania," and he's like, "Nah, Brock's leaving. He's going to the NFL." So he pretty much confirmed the rumor.
Yeah.
But
Uh, uh,
I mean, it's the viewer's preference. If they want to watch it, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. You know, I mean, I don't remember. As far as Over the Edge, I remember when that show happened. I came home. I was at some event that evening, so I came home to catch the replay.
uh-huh.
So I started watching the replay at 11, and I kind of like I fell asleep maybe like a half hour into it, like by the second match.
Right.
So I missed it. I didn't know what happened until the following day at school.
Well, I didn't, believe it or not, I didn't see that pay-per-view either. I have never seen it in its entirety.
Hmm.
I have seen the Owen Hart segments, and I've, obviously, it's XYZ amount of years later, you know this. When it happened, for whatever reason, Owen was lowering from the ceiling during the video package.
Hmm.
So, other than
Like I've seen the promo he did, the one leading into the match.
yeah, other than the live crowd in Kansas City that night,
Hmm.
that's 15,000 people, but the 2 million or whatever it was back then, the people that watched it at home never saw it.
Yeah,
It
from what I
was
heard, they never saw. I mean, I know I fell asleep maybe like it must
it
have been.
was
It
not
was this. I think it was
broadcast.
the third match. So I fell asleep like during the second match. I think it was like a
Yeah,
hardcore Holly match. So I know I passed out like shortly before it happened. Like I and that was rare because I always caught the pay-per-views, and that was the one that I missed at that time in like that 99 time span.
it it was not broadcast. It was not something that was too bad of a snuff film or anything like that.
Hmm.
Again, only the live crowd saw it that night.
Yeah.
So it's going to be edited out totally. And I'm pretty sure when Jim Ross makes the unfortunate announcement about Owen Hart's death, that will not be viewed either.
Yeah.
So, there's not much editing involved, honestly. And I know it was never released on home video as well.
Hmm.
It
Yeah, it
was
was
never,
never on home video.
it was never released on home video. And, it's on YouTube.
I mean, I
You know,
think I have it. I know when I downloaded all of the pay-per-views, I think that was one of them on there.
yeah, it's on YouTube. You can view it. It's not much to view. Anybody that thinks, because for years a lot of people thought it was like it was a thing that you could see, like you see him
Hmm.
defending, falling, you don't
I mean, I know
see
back
it.
in the day when I had like when I would download like even prior to YouTube when I would try to download like LimeWire or Kazaa, whatever. Like anytime I would search for WWE, there would always be videos. Oh, Owen Hart's death on
Yeah.
tape.
Oh
Yeah,
my God. It was the norm.
yeah.
It was the norm back then.
Hmm.
It was the norm back then. If you were downloading anything illegal, somebody swore that they had Owen Hart's death on
Yeah.
their drive. You know, which is unfortunate. Like, why would you want to
Like, why
profit
would you
from,
want to see that? Or yeah,
financially, morally? Why would you want to profit from that? And why the hell would you want to see it?
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, poor Jimmy Corderas was in the ring when it happened.
Jimmy Corderas was in the ring. Jerry Lawler left his post
Yeah.
to check on Owen. There was a lot of factors involved. That was a tough one. I cried when Hart died.
Oh
I
yeah, I
was
remember. I found out the next day, and like I'm
was
trying
I
to
was
like I remember. I don't remember. I think one of my friends told me like I don't know. Like I think we were like across each other in the class, and he was like, Owen Hart. Like I think he was trying to whisper Owen Hart died, but I heard Owen Hart did it, so I thought he was telling me like Owen Hart won the Intercontinental title.
right.
So I didn't. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And like,
Who was he supposed to take
huh?
on? Was it Steve Blackman? Who was it?
Godfather.
Godfather. Godfather.
Yeah. So I think it was during lunch. It might have been Frankie that told me, or I don't remember. Maybe I know it was on in the papers on the front
Oh, it was
page.
everywhere.
Huh?
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. So that's how I found. And then I saw the next night on
One thing that I'm
Raw.
looking to watch, believe it or not, is the tribute Raw.
Yeah. You've never seen that one?
I've not since that year.
Oh, I have that. I think yeah, I have it on my computer.
I've never seen. I've seen that since that year.
Yeah.
I'm from the school of thought. I've never saw a Black Raw. From YouTube, at least now on the recent ones. Yeah, but I'm still of that school of thought that if you miss Raw, you couldn't watch it again ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how it was back in the day, Bosh. If you missed Raw, if you missed SmackDown, you could not see it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to come out on home video. You couldn't watch at your buddy's house because no. And then from my friends, I was the only one that was recording Raw.
Yeah.
So if you missed it, you never saw it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I just come from that school of thought. So it'll be the network's gonna be cool for me in that aspect because all of the Raws are apparently open to me.
Well, not yet. From what I don't think they're going to be available yet.
Well, yeah, in the trailer it does say that you get every Monday Night Raw.
Nah. I think right now they're giving out the pay-per-views first.
Well, that's kind of gay.
Because I know they only giving out 1,500 hours.
Well, what was the other thing I read about the network this week? That all the reviews are coming in and that it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And that it's pretty much Netflix like wrestling, which we all expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm definitely looking forward to it too. It's 2 more weeks.
Yeah, I can't even believe that part.
Yeah.
Can't even believe that part, to be honest with you. But it's going to be cool, and I'm looking forward to watching a Raw on the network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to watching a Raw on the network.
Well, at least look, I know they're going to be posting Raw like after it airs. So like
There's a pre show, a post show.
But when you miss Raw, you can watch it later in the week.
Yeah, no, that part is
so you
without
can be prepared for our podcast.
I want to watch the Raw live on the network to see what they do during the commercials.
Oh, okay. It's probably going to be like the app, like the little interviews and.
Yeah, but it's different watching all of that while it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, watching Raw on your TV and then you got to flick it to the app at the right time. That's annoying.
Yeah.
I
usually have the app, like, when the few times I use the app, I have it on my iPad, but...
I did it for a while, but they weren't into, like, the bonus content as they are now. They were mostly doing, like, the appreciation nights.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best. Like, I know when they did the Bret Hart appreciation night, I watched that.
I watched that. That was pretty cool. I don't know why they don't do that as much, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's tons of guys that can help and build, like, the next time they're in Pittsburgh or New York, you can do a Bruno one.
Yeah.
The next time you're in the Garden, you can do a Hogan one too. North Carolina, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of guys you can honor. I
know they were gonna do Pat Patterson the night that Jerry Hart had the heart attack.
Yeah, that's sucks that they never followed up on the Jimmy Hart one, but Brett got his.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart, excuse me, on the Pat Patterson one, but Brett got his. I was actually expecting the Anvil to come out for Brett's.
Yeah, that was the surprising.
I was expecting the Anvil to come out.
Uh-huh.
And I was actually expecting Diana Hart to come out as well.
Diana?
Yeah.
I know all the Hearts were there for Mania 10.
Mania 10 and 20, what was that, 26?
Why am I saying... No, I didn't mean Mania 10. I meant WrestleMania in 2010.
Oh, the Hearts were there at WrestleMania 10, though.
Yeah. See, it worked out. I knew what I was talking about.
No, I got your back on that.
I meant to say 2010. But...
I got your back on that. I just realized?
What?
We have not taken a commercial break yet.
I know, we're like 48 minutes into the show.
We have not taken... I don't know how you're going to edit this, but let him know now. We have not taken a commercial break yet. We have just not
stopped talking.
And
I think we've surpassed the time from episode 1 with the Slammies.
Oh, yeah, but Slammies, we only went, 30 minutes straight?
Yeah, and we're going on 50. Okay, what song do you want to for this commercial break? I have the song for the closing. But,
so wait, we're gonna do a commercial break and the 50-minute break?
Yeah, why not?
All right, I want to hear Shane McMahon, Mr. DJ.
All right, well, here comes the money.
Here comes the money, and we'll be back.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can a damn soul stop it. Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold Hedged all your bets, here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne. Success in my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need you, Poppy. I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne, it's called brand new money. Making major moves, man, ain't a damn thing funny. Pimpin' hood rats to Playboy bunnies. They see the... They see it, they see it. Say what? Money. I'm global dollar and roll with Bow Fitty. Like to go out smelling fresh and looking spiffy.
Alright, folks, we're back, because, when we're talking for life, but, anyways, let's see what else has happened in the world of wrestling. It's been, leaked, or I don't know if it's been leaked or announced or what,
No,
but...
it's leaked. It has not been announced yet. That shit was leaked.
Okay, that Undertaker will be returning on February 24th, the night after Elimination Chamber. Also the night that the network premieres.
Yay.
What are your thoughts on that, Cheyenne?
I don't like it.
Why not?
Because it's just going to lead to the Brock thing.
So why don't you want it to lead to the Brock thing?
Because I don't want him to wrestle Brock, damn it.
I'm not taking that away from you, Cheyenne. I don't think the Sting thing is happening this year at least.
Let's quick sidetrack. So WWE doesn't want to bring Sting in until next year. Why?
Did they say that they don't want to bring him until next year?
All dirt sheets are reporting that, quote-unquote, Sting is A, not a priority, and B, they want to build Sting for next year as a California guy and do a Hall of Fame induction.
As a California guy? What does that mean? The bleach blonde with the colorful face paint?
Yeah, because he's a California guy. They feel like he'll help draw in with the whole thing in Santa Clara.
Okay.
And they want to build the last dream match that wrestling has left for a whole year. Sting will wrestle matches in between, but he will not be at WrestleMania 30 and will likely debut the next night. And I feel like, dude, CM Punk is gone. You're here pulling your hair out.
They usually don't do debuts until the night after Mania anyway, so...
Yeah, right, but Bosh, Punk is gone. They're freaking out with creative. Everything is in the air right now. Why wouldn't you just bring Sting in? What sounds better? Sting, Undertaker, WrestleMania 30, or Sting, Undertaker, WrestleMania 31?
I'm not taking that away from you, Shane. I'm not...
What?
What are you doing? No, I understand where you're coming from, and I think it would be a good idea, but I don't know if maybe they feel they don't have enough time to do it, or they're just really dead set on doing him and
They have
Brock.
a month to build Sting and The Undertaker, two people who don't wrestle on Raw.
I know they can... I'm not taking away that they could build it, because those are two characters that's pretty easy to build around, but they want Brock in the match with Taker.
Oh Jesus! That's it.
How do you... Okay, so then, like I like to do, let's try to book... How would you set up the feud with Undertaker and Brock? If that's the direction they're going, how would you set that one up?
Undertaker and Brock?
Mm-hmm. Since that's the direction they're going, how do you think they will set that feud up? I can see something as simple as just, like, Paul Heyman cutting a promo that Brock is too big because I know they're teasing that Brock wants to go after the title, but Triple H keeps saying he has to earn it, and they don't want to give him a title shot. So he can be like, okay, he's bigger than the title.
Wait, the question is, how would I book Brock Taker, the build-up, on the night of the network launch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here it is. So Raw opens, right? Where is Raw that night?
God, I don't have it in front of me right now.
Anyway, so Raw opens, right?
Mm-hmm.
The lights go out. The whole deal, right? The flames, the gongs. But all you hear is the gongs, right?
Yeah.
You hear that big power switch when Jerk comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Whole arena's black, big white spotlight. It's Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Then the spotlight goes out. Boom. Cue Brock music.
Mm-hmm.
Brock and Paul come out.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. Brock Lesnar talks about how Punk... He can even mention Punk.
Yeah.
Punk didn't get it done last year. There's only one man that can get it done, and that's the only man who did it before, Brock Lesnar.
I think that's kind of like where I was. I mean, I know they want to. I know they've been teasing Brock going for the title. I think they can just throw in a line in there like he's beyond the title. He doesn't need the title. He's already won the title. He's too big for the title. He needs to go after something bigger, and that's the streak.
So as far as I'm concerned, that's how I would book it. But at that same time, it's like, dude, you have ample time to finally get this Sting Taker thing done. Why would you want to waste that until next year, I feel?
Yeah. I mean,
You know, I just feel like this is the best time to do it. Punk's on, they're scratching their ass about creating for Mania. Nothing set in stone. That's the way that I see it.
I know, I definitely agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of things that we want to see that the WWE isn't doing, unfortunately. You know, like there's a lot. We want to see Daniel Bryan be champion. We want to see Sting and Taker. We want to see Brock Batista. I mean, there's so many things that we want to see, but unfortunately, it's not what we're getting. You know.
Right.
But what else is there? Did you see the teasers for the Jeff Jarrett promotion? I mean, I even put up a teaser on our Instagram with our
Yeah.
theme
I
music
did
on
check it out, and apparently, yeah, I checked that out. Apparently, the rumor is that Toby Keith and Double J apparently did in fact make a bid to purchase TNA.
it.
Well, what happened with that was that Bob Carter still wanted Dixie Carter to have the job that she has now,
Yeah.
and Jared and Toby Keith were saying that's a deal breaker. So people are saying that, you know, pretty much this is going to be a wrestling promotion. However, it's not going to be up and running until late this year, next year,
Okay.
the latest.
I mean, it's better to not rush into it. Like they should be prepared.
Right.
So, I mean, time will tell. I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, it's just a tough time. Like you mentioned when one of our earlier episodes, who would they have in their federation?
Right.
I think that's the biggest question right now. I know that's what's been like who would they bring in? Who would be their poster boy? Who would be their champ? Who would take up their roster? Like as far as like a big name. I mean, I'm sure they can find guys on the indie scene that are great wrestlers, but as far as like who's going to be that attraction that's going to bring people in, like look at TNA had Hogan, Angle, Sting, Flair,
Uh-huh.
Jeff Hardy, all these guys, but they were still getting the same amount of viewers every week. They weren't. It wasn't like having those guys was bringing in a million more people. Like they were still.
Exactly.
They were getting. They're getting the same ratings now that they had with Hogan and before Hogan. You know, so it's like
Right.
you can have Hogan, Flair, Sting, Angle, Hardy, all 5 of the biggest draws, and it still wasn't doing anything for them.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's gonna be a tough one. I don't know who unless. I know people throw out Goldberg. That's not going to happen. I don't see Goldberg coming out of retirement just to wrestle for Jeff Jarrett and Toby Keith. You know,
Oh, hell no.
like
And to wrestle.
if he wasn't going to do Mania or work for WWE, he's not going to work for them. You know, so
Yeah,
like
he's obviously not going to wrestle a full schedule on top of that. That's the biggest thing about the part-time guys, Goldberg in particular.
yeah,
So, yeah, people got to... Goldberg was far and from my candidates for that promotion or whatever you want to call it, charity event.
yeah. So it's like who do they bring in? You know, like I mean, I'm not doubting like they can bring in great wrestlers from Ring of Honor or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla or Dragon Gate or Japan or Mexico, but
Which, you know, Double J does in fact have ties with all those guys,
Yeah.
but, you know, again, this is not the territories. That's not how it works.
Mhm.
You know, now you got to have the guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's tough.
yeah, I guess time will tell. Let's see. On a bright note, we got an email this week.
We
Finally.
did.
Yes, we did.
Who sent us an email? What's the guy's name? I want to know.
His name is Jason.
Just Jason. Okay, Jason.
Yeah.
How are you, Jason?
Huh?
How are you, Jason?
He's a friend. He's actually a friend of mine, so he doesn't qualify for the
Oh,
contest.
you shouldn't have said that.
He mentions it in the damn podcast.
That should have been a draw for people to write.
I mean, I don't. I mean, then they can win the prize. I mean, I mean, it's not like we've ever celebrated our birthday together and ended up in a gay bar, but let's see what he had to say.
Let's see what he had to say.
Great podcast, guys. Love the fact that I can listen to a podcast from guys like us who are fans of the sport of WWE pro wrestling, especially considering that Bosch is a friend of mine. LOL. Thanks. Want to touch on a few things. Obviously, the CM Punk situation is still a big topic on every fan's minds. Is it a work? Is it real? And if it is, will Vince convince him to come back? At first, I thought it was a work. It just seemed, and still to some degree seems to be something just right out of a very well scripted storyline saga that everyone in the industry is trying to hide behind. So it can seem legit and believable. I'm starting to think that though it is real but much like the Austin situation, Vince will convince Punk to come back and will probably 3 weeks before Mania to have an explosive feud with Triple H and have it so much emotion behind it so that it is legit heat there between the two. I think if there is any way to bring him back, it should be that way. Have Punk go over Triple H and the Authority, and just give the dude what he wants as far as working part time, and maybe give him one or two more runs as champion before he decides to leave again for good. Because I think the way he left this time around just leaves too many things hanging in the balance as far as his feud with the Authority and the two best indie guys in WWE with him and Daniel Bryan. I think there should be a legit feud with these two, see who is the best, and have it be for the title. If not, maybe at SummerSlam, the next year's Mania. Um, hold on. I'm gonna split it up because he has a bunch of different paragraphs, so I guess we can discuss each one after I read them. So,
Right.
what do you think of what he had to say about Punk?
Well, with the Punk scenario, I definitely don't think that it is a work at all. I definitely think it's a shoot. And if it is a work, then it does. Doesn't that make things better?
Yeah,
So I definitely don't think it's a work. If it is, then they got us very, very good, and that makes for a better product and for a more compelling storyline, hopefully. But I do think Punk will be back at some time. Do I see it happening after WrestleMania? Absolutely. Vince McMahon is the only person handling it right now, so
yeah,
things remain to be seen. But I think it's a shoot.
yeah. From what I heard, he wasn't even like returning text or phone calls. Like Cole Cabana didn't comment on the situation. Like nobody's really saying much, and WWE's staying pretty quiet about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, I feel like even though we know Taker is returning soon, we have Batista who's returned, Henry returning to Raw next week, and Sheamus returned already. There are still two notable names who nobody has really mentioned, and when they are returning before WrestleMania, and those guys are of course Evan Bourne and Bo Dallas. Laughing my ass off. Nah, of course I'm talking about Chris Jericho and RVD. Ever since their departures mid-tier last year, there has been no significant rumors of when these two will return to WWE, and it should be, or at least I would hope that they would return in time for WrestleMania. As far as who they can feud with, I have no idea. Possibly maybe feud with each other, having that they had an awesome match a few weeks after RVD returned last year, but has anyone heard a possible return for these two? So as far as Jericho and RVD, I haven't really heard much. I don't see Jericho coming back. I think he's still pretty busy with Fozzy, and
I don't see her coming back anytime soon because a lot of Fozzy coming up.
yeah,
Plus, his new podcast is twice a week now.
hmm
Plus, he's got I'm Chris Jericho show that gets shot weekly, so it's a tough time for him.
yeah,
There's that going on, and then I know that with RVD, it was pretty much always out there that he would be back in time for WrestleMania season.
hmm
I know that he was booked to wrestle for Booker T's promotion as a warm-up match for his WWE comeback, but we have not seen him since. So a lot of things are up in the air with those two guys. I
I
definitely
mean,
see
where do you really throw him in? Like, do you see? Like, I don't know. I just see him getting lost in the shuffle. Like, look at Christian, who came back, and like, he's pretty much being thrown into the elimination chamber. Nobody thinks he's gonna win. So like, I mean, after the elimination chamber, I don't really see Christian doing much. I don't see RVD. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I don't really see much going on for, especially during the Mania season. Like,
he'll definitely, without question, get lost in the shuffle. I can tell you that right now.
yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of like even upper mid card guys that I don't really see much going on for, unfortunately. Um,
No, I mean, I think RVD should return after Mania, just for considering the fact that they will get lost in the shuffle.
mhm.
Why can't we get Daniel Bryan RVD for the WWE title?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But I haven't heard anything about Van Dam and ages. Jericho, I don't think we have to say that it's out there.
Yeah.
It's out there that he's not coming back no time soon.
Okay, let's see what else. Lastly, the big one or maybe two big WrestleMania 30 and Elimination Chamber. Cheyenne, I liked most of your fantasy WrestleMania matches with the exception of the main event itself. In a perfect world, what I see or would like to see at WrestleMania, and it's still being processed in my mind with the way things are changing daily in WWE, main event, if Punk is back, is Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista versus Punk for the title. Have Bryan win over all of them in a fatal four-way. It shuts everyone up finally. Everyone pretty much gets what they want, from the Marks to Daniel Bryan getting the title finally and Punk being in the main event. Or you can do Triple H with Batista versus, well, triple threat with Batista versus Orton versus Bryan, and then again have Punk win over both. If Punk is back, not but not in the main event, have him square off against Triple H or Kane. I'd rather Triple H, being that these guys have a score to settle from 3 years ago, and I think I think it may be somewhat important for Triple H to have actually wrestle at Mania, being that he has a legacy in the event. What do you think?
I mean, in a perfect world right now, the main event should be Batista versus Orton versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
That's what it should be right now. That's the main event that I'd like to see
Uh-huh.
because it means more. Because Bryan is going against Randy Orton, the face of the WWE, and he's going against Batista, who is the face of the internet. So I think those, in a perfect world, that's just the match that it should be.
It
Right?
kind of brings flashbacks of Mania 20, where you got the small underdog
Yeah.
Benoit against two guys that have been established for the prior decade, like Triple
Yes.
H and Shawn, now Batista and Orton. And also the fact that they were both in groups with each other, like Batista and Orton were in Evolution,
Huh?
Shawn and Triple H were in DX. So it kind of brings back like a similar scenario from the Mania 10 years ago.
Yeah, and you can incorporate Triple H into that very well. If you wanted to bring Flair out, you can as well. But the
Yeah.
point I'm trying to make is that that's the match that it should be right now. I know internet has been saying that is a consideration, and if it's on the internet, it's obviously true. But the internet has in fact been speculating that matchup, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think that match is very likely. I could say that.
It probably will happen. Bray Wyatt versus John Cena can remain. I would enjoy this match greatly because Cena, for one of the few times, is not in the main event, and it's pretty much a higher mid-card match, and it would be even better if Bray goes over on Cena, but we'll see how that goes. Of course, it looks like we're getting a triple threat match of the Shield, as it is about 98% guaranteed that they will break up after their feud with the Wyatts. Ambrose versus Rollins versus Reigns. I personally am a huge mark for Roman Reigns, but I actually would rather see Ambrose win that to give him a big push, because I think win or loss, it won't make a difference to Reigns. He already has the it factor, and it will just add to the feud between him and Ambrose. As far as Rollins goes, he can be that upper mid-card guy that gives us, and they give him plenty of Intercontinental title reigns. However, and I think this is something that a lot of fans may not have taken into consideration, Ambrose still holds the U.S. title, and WWE has been toying with the idea of having the U.S. and Intercontinental titles be unified, so they may have Ambrose versus Big E Langston at Mania for the unification of the titles, and may hold off on the Shield breakup until Extreme Rules. I don't see them combining the titles, and I think they're gonna go with the triple threat between the Shield for Mania.
Um, you know, First of all, let me just say this: if I was working WWE Creative and I heard, US and IC, unification, I would not vote for that idea at all. I think the Shield match is a guarantee. It's either going to be, the triple threat match or Ambrose versus Reigns with the U.S. title on the line.
Yeah.
I honestly, if I was booking the triple threat match, this is going to sound stupid, but maybe you will get it. I would book Ambrose versus Rollins versus Reigns, the United States, and the tag titles.
For the tag titles.
Oh, they're not tag champions anymore, right? So what's Brotherhood? No, the Outlaws now.
Outlaws.
They were still tag champions. I would book that, believe it or not.
How would you book the tag titles in a triple threat match?
I'm going to tell you exactly how.
I want to hear this.
It's exactly how. Whoever wins let's say obviously Reigns wins, right?
Mhm.
He's the U.S. champion. Now he's a tag champion. He gets to pick a partner. He
Okay.
gets to pick a partner, right?
Mhm.
To compete against Rollins and Ambrose against, and that breaks up Rollins and Ambrose.
Okay.
You cannot just blow up the Shield. There has to be a story for why they all broke up their separate
I mean, I
ways.
think it's you can see that there's a dissension between Ambrose and Reigns, but that kind of leaves Rollins stuck in the middle.
Exactly.
So it kind of
Exactly.
it's like that's the one issue I do have as well. Is like why would why is Rollins fighting them?
That's exactly why I
Kind
would
of like
do
when they did it with Legacy, it was why are DiBiase and Cody fighting each other?
right.
If they're,
Exactly.
I mean, I like they were in cahoots. They were working together to take on Orton. Like I would have preferred maybe even a handicap match against Orton over a triple threat because it was like, okay, it doesn't make like what are they fighting for? Why are DiBiase and Cody Rhodes? Oh, just to prove that they were the better member of of the Legacy.
Right.
So I feel like that's kind of the one issue. It's like, and you don't put I don't want to put Rollins in there as like a referee or anything, and like, and it would suck to not even have him wrestle at Mania and have him on the outside.
Yeah, and another thing is that first of all, I just gotta say this: all three of those guys have the it factor. Don't get it twisted.
Hmm.
All three of those guys have the it
I mean, I
factor.
think people say that Roman has the it factor, quote unquote. Just he has the look and the charisma. I mean, like, but as far like
Isn't that much charisma, Bosh?
I mean, I'm not saying charisma like The Rock, obviously. Like I said, he reminds me of a young Batista.
The most charismatic out of all of them is Ambrose.
Oh yeah, of course. And Rollins is a great worker, and I mean, I've been a fan of Rollins since the age of the fall.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
Rollins
I'm
turns- if Rollins turns into that guy, he would be bigger than Reigns.
yeah. I mean, I'm worried as to what's gonna happen with them. Like I know people say, oh, Ambrose will be fine, but like I see him, unfortunately, like getting caught, like lost in the mix, like an what's his name, Damian Sandow. Like he's great on the mic, a great worker,
If the
but like
Shield
he's
breaks up,
yeah.
not all of them are going to be fine. Enough said.
No, that's what I'm saying too. I think Reigns is gonna be fine, but I think Ambrose will maybe be like a Sandow
Yeah.
that's great on the mic, that is entertaining, but I don't see him having a main event push, and I
Yeah.
can see Rollins maybe in like a Ziggler or Kofi Kingston kind of role where he's like the great worker that everybody loves to watch or like puts on great matches but doesn't really get for it. And I mean, it's a shame because I'm a fan of all three guys, you know, especially Rollins, who I've been following for years, and Ambrose is great. Like, okay, we've lost Cheyenne. I guess we were talking too much, but I'm gonna bring Cheyenne back in. Let's call him via Skype. Let's go. Come on. I'll continue reading the email once Cheyenne comes back. In the meantime, I'm going to plug our website. Go to www.forlifepodcast.com, or you can hit us up on our social media at For Life Podcast or on Facebook, For Life Podcast. Oh, you're back, Cheyenne?
I'm back, but I didn't. What did I miss? Apparently, you continued the show without me.
I was just plugging the sites while it was connecting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just like I was saying, I don't think everybody in the Shield is going to be fine, and you'll know more about that if you follow us on our social media sites, which could be found where again, Bosh?
At forlifepodcast.com.
That's right. And how do you use the website?
How to use the website? You go to www.forlifepodcast.com. You can go to the contact us section and fill in all the information and leave us some email like this gentleman Jay did.
Exactly.
And you can check out our videos, our past episodes. We don't have many pictures up right now, just our one picture from Raw like 10 years ago, but
And what do they get if they email us, Bosh?
they get an autographed 8x10 of us.
That's exactly right. Come on, one more
Who
thing.
doesn't want that? Just hang it up on your wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll even make it. What's that? I'll make it an 11 by 17. All right.
All right, now we're talking big time.
Now we're talking big things here.
Okay, speaking of the tag titles, let's continue Jay's extensive email, as he put it. Tag team titles, which we were just talking about. I think this one's an obvious. New Age Outlaws versus the Usos. Have the Usos win that one. They have been the workhorse the past 7 to 8 months and have been well deserving of those titles. I think it would be a great match, being that both Billy and Road Dogg can still go. Usos can't say enough of how talented these guys are, and I would hope that they are one of these tag teams that WWE doesn't break up right away. Have to stick them together for several years to come to have a good 5, 6 title reigns. Keep that tag team division alive and running for the next few years. I mean, at the rate that WWE is going now, they've been splitting up every team, so I don't see why the Usos wouldn't be the last. I mean, they're probably the last team left to get a title shot, but I think they are well deserving of those title shots and those belts because they've been
And
around for years.
Jay wants to see this match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Usos and the Outlaws.
That match, however, and maybe you'll disagree with that. With this, I'm fine with that match. But do you see New Orleans hijacking that match and going for the Outlaws?
I mean, I think somebody still needs to tell Road Dogg that they're heels because they're still coming out as baby faces.
How do you do that act as a heel, though, Bosh?
Just don't do it. You tease that you're about to start, and then just find a way to like cut it off. Like, I think it could be done. Like if he starts off the ladies and gentlemen, boys and then like they find a way to just not continue it, and that'll get heat. Like I know in Ring of Honor, Davey Richards, he would always go. He like when he was a heel, he would go to the top rope. He would tease that he's gonna do like a high spot, and like everybody would cheer and go crazy, and then he would just hop down off the ropes and kind of give the fans like this shove it sign, and that would get heat. Like everybody was excited that he was going to do something, and he took it away from the fans. So I guess you can tease like that they're going to do their shtick, but they don't do it, or I don't know. I think that's the only way they could do it is by not doing it.
That's pretty fair.
You know, like I mean, because even if they trash the whatever city they're in, like The Rock used to trash the city when he was a heel, and they would still cheer him. You know.
Oh yeah, but the Outlaws won't get that lucky.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would like to see the Usos win the tag belts. I know they just split up the primetime players. They're about to split up the Shield. From what I see, they're gonna.
Just a little side note talking about the Shield. I just got for my WWE Survivor Series pay-per-view in my WWE 2K14 universe, Marty Jannetty and Seth Rollins. Just saying.
Okay.
It has Dream Match written all over it.
As far like probably the Brotherhood breaking up soon, they'll probably have a match at Mania.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this next paragraph is sorry, I don't know if you were taking shots out of your awesome shot glass that I got you for Christmas, but I'm going to need and want an R-Truth versus Xavier Woods feud. I see Truth turning on Xavier Woods and using the excuse that Xavier stealing his thunder and dance moves, or maybe just have Xavier and Tensai versus Truth and Brodus. Maybe add the stipulation that the winners get the Funkadactyls. At best, I can see that being in the pre-show or cut from me. I don't even see any of those guys appearing at Mania.
I don't see that happening even on a WCW Saturday night. I don't see that happening, period. Okay? I don't see that happening on Worldwide.
Okay, this is a long email. I don't feel like reading anymore. We're gonna do part 2 of this email next week. Sorry, Jade.
Yeah, Jade. We'll say they 8 by 10 for trying.
But I mean, he goes into more Mania predictions. I don't know. I think they were going somewhere with the tag division, and now they're kind of splitting everybody up again. Like, okay, realistically, once all the let's say the roads break up, and let's say, I mean, the Outlaws, I don't see really sticking around too much longer. If till Mania, the latest, if even that long, like maybe they're giving them this one last run, and then Mania, that'll be their final match. So it's like, okay, once the Outlaws are gone, the roads break up, the Shield breaks up, primetime players break up, they've been broken up. You know, what the hell is that?
What's what?
That noise.
What noise?
I don't know, I heard some noise. I mean, that.
What?
Nothing, Shane. What teams...
I don't hear anything. What do you get upset at me for?
What teams do you see left in the tag division?
We have a tag division? No, I don't see anybody.
I mean, there was like a time where there wasn't really many teams, but I mean, there was maybe like the last couple months where they've actually had a few good teams. Like I thought the Primetime Players were a
Yeah,
good team, and
few good teams. They never had them wrestle, Bosh.
I know, and then that's what sucks. And or like they would have these good teams, but then they would put it on two singles guys, like Team Hell No, or
Right.
even the Rhodes. I mean, the Rhodes brothers I've enjoyed as a team, but like Team Hell No, I don't know. I feel like teams like the Usos and the Primetime Players that are actual teams. They have a team name. They have a
Right.
team look. Like look, they broke up Titus and Darren Young.
Yeah, like they could have just had. They could have just had Tensai and Brodus turn heel and be like the monsters of the tag division.
Yeah,
And instead, they came up with that stupid scenario to benefit Xavier Woods only.
and what benefit has that been to Xavier Woods?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I would like to see the Usos winning because I think they're a great team and they've been on a roll. The few times that they're actually on TV or on pay per view. Like
Right. Right.
I know them. Like I know. I think it was. Like, I don't know if it was a pre-show match that they had with the Shield, but it was great on one of the pay per views. And usually when they're in there with the Shield, they have pretty good matches.
I mean, there were. I mean, look. Right now, we have the Usos, and that's about it. And of course, the Brotherhood. The problem with the Brotherhood is we knew they were going to split up at some point.
Yeah.
Usos are a fantastic tag team. I still don't know why in the hell they broke up the Primetime Players. I don't get that.
I don't know either. I mean, I thought they were getting over. I always enjoyed them. I don't know.
So I don't really understand why that went down. So.
And then what do you have? The Matadors and 3MB, Real Americans. I don't see. I, all, re,
3MB they've ruined. Real Americans is
Real Americans. I don't see them sticking around. I don't see them sticking together that much longer either.
Yeah, they're over, but I don't see them sticking around together either. And then Los Matadores, they're not consistent enough with them.
Yeah. Like they're not even on that level.
Exactly.
Unless they come back. I mean, I'm sure they can have they're great wrestlers. I'm sure if they were Primo and Epico, they can probably have decent matches with the Usos.
You can't go back to your old gimmick. You know that. You can't. The only person that can go back to his old gimmick is when Flair went from being the Black Scorpion back to Ric Flair.
Well, look at Kane. He went from mask, no mask, mask, no mask.
Yeah, but that.
I mean, the only reason they took off his mask was because of See No Evil 2.
People say it's the Undertaker, but Kane, I think Kane is the Madonna of wrestling at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. He has the record for most heel face turn. I think it's like, what, 22?
I think him and Big Show.
No, but Kane has the record. It was on the internet. It's 22, I think.
How many does Big Show have?
Oh, he's going to have at least 21. But, yeah, somebody did
I think Angle might be another one that's had.
Yeah, but somebody did do the count for Kane. It is 22. Show's got to be up there with at least 20, all joking aside, and Angle's got to have 15.
Teens, yeah.
12 to 15 is right.
I think just last year, Big Show turned like 4 times.
Yeah, at least twice last year, all joking aside.
No, because he started as a heel, then he went face to face the Shield at Mania.
Oh, then he went back heel,
and then he turned heel at Mania, and then he turned face when he was feuding with the Authority.
Holy shit, 4 times in 1 year, you're right. Wow, that's something. And it's not something good.
Yeah.
If anybody's thinking out there. Is anybody else? Triple H is another one.
No, I don't think he's had that many. Okay, he started as a heel, then he turned face with DX, turned heel, and went with the Corporation, and he pretty much stood heel until his quad injury. Came back as a face, so that turned heel on Shawn. Became face when he reformed DX. And then he was a face up until SummerSlam when he...
No, you see, you missed a couple. Remember, after he is the main heel on Raw, he comes back as a face.
Oh, when he turned on Flair.
Right, turns heel on Flair.
Okay.
Is a face again. Turns heel again. Then turns face with Shawn.
When was the second time he turned face?
Huh?
When was the second time between Flair and Shawn?
because after the Flair feud, when he started going after Cena, he was getting cheered and he was being treated as a face. But then he sided with Vince, and then when Vince took it too far, is when he turned with DX.
But he was a heel going into that feud with Cena.
Right, but coming out of it, he was being treated as a face again.
Yeah, leading into the that was the DX turn.
And after that, if you remember, there was an incident with Vince and Triple H against like Michaels and Cena. That was when he turned heel again.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, he's had a bunch.
Was that at least 10 we just counted?
I think it was 9 or 10. Jericho's probably had a bunch too.
Oh, Jericho's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Jericho's got to be up there. Jericho's got to be up there. Who else is there? Edge.
Edge, yeah.
Edge has got to have at least 10.
Mm-hmm.
Christian,
yeah. Eddie.
Yep, Eddie. Flair. Forget it.
Yeah.
Michaels,
really?
Come on.
Okay, let's see Michaels. He started as a face with the Rockers.
Right.
Turned on Jannetty.
Right.
Was a heel until Sid turned on him and he joined with Diesel.
Right.
Then he was a face until he started DX.
Correct.
And so he was a heel with DX. Then he was in. Okay, this is gonna be. Yeah, we gotta count like when he was there as commissioner with the corporation. So he came in as a heel with the corporation. Did he turn face at one point during that time?
Yeah. Then after he got jumped by DX, he came back and face again.
Okay, so.
When he wrestled on SmackDown.
Yeah. I think he probably had more turns during his time gone than he.
And then he came back as a
NWO.
As a face.
No, when he came back with the NWO, he was a heel, right?
But after the SmackDown thing where he kicked Brock in the face, he was a face.
Okay.
Then he came back heel with the NWO. Then he turned face against Triple H. Then he turned heel against Hogan.
Then he turned face like the night after that.
And then he was fine.
Then he turned heel at Hell in a Cell against Bryan.
That doesn't count.
That does count.
No, it doesn't.
That was a heel turn. He turned heel.
He defended his friend.
He was still a heel.
Oh yeah? If he's such a heel, why is he on Raw every week?
What? He attacked Bryan. He attacked Punk. He's a heel.
Yeah, he's such a heel. Why the hell isn't he on Raw every week then?
Because he's hunting. Because he's banging Whisper. I don't know.
You know what? That's fair enough for me. You win.
Okay.
that alone, you get the win.
We gotta have like the heel face turn game. That's gonna be like...
Every week we gotta pick a different wrestler and count how many.
Alright, we've already done Hunter and Sean. We gotta like try to.
You know what's really good to do?
Who?
Gotta do Vince.
Oh god.
Gotta do.
How about like the Miz in the last 4 months?
Oh, I don't even want to talk about the freaking Miz.
We gotta like find the list of Kane and Big Show's heel face turns and.
Yeah, I know. I remember it was on a dirt sheet. Kane's got the record. It's 22.
All right, so we gotta look for those. That's our homework for the week.
Yeah.
Or if anybody wants to send it to us
through email
just forlifepodcast.com, contact us or tweet us. I don't know.
No.
Email.
Anybody can tweet. And I'm launching my Twitter account the day of the network, so we're gonna have somebody. We're gonna have Jake Fury come back for the day of my Twitter launch.
Jake Fury?
Yeah.
Is that your Twitter?
No, we're gonna have Jake Fury come back for the day of my Twitter launch.
Jake Fury, like Eddie?
Yeah, Jake Fury is the greatest backyard wrestler of all time. What a better way to launch my Twitter account than to have Jake Fury come back. If WWE's gonna have The Undertaker, I gotta have Jake Fury, Bosh. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta.
No Steve Stallion. I want Stallion.
Oh no, that's all right. That's all right.
You know who I would like to have though?
Is the
iSilent.m Smooth.
Oh, well, just because of a busy schedule. Well, that's who I really would want.
Yeah. Isn't his
Steve
birthday today?
Stein. Steve Stein is the Bret Hart of backyard wrestling.
Oh my god. Well, we would like to wish a happy birthday to Matthew, aka iSilent.m Smooth, or Antoine DeMonico.
Big happy birthday to my man. I hope he's having a fantastic birthday.
I do have a little tribute for him as our closing
Yes.
going out.
Yes.
It's his favorite song, which we used for their Instagram video, and the promo that I mentioned earlier that I was watching.
Yes. Yes.
So
I can't
that's how
wait.
our show will close today.
I cannot wait.
Is there anything else going on in the wacky world of wrestling? I don't have anything here.
Say again.
Is there anything else to discuss?
Um. No, I mean honestly, next week's gonna be cool because it's to go home for the chamber and the network. So
Yeah. Well,
next
no,
week's-
no. Go home is next week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next week.
So we still have 2 more weeks to wait for the network. But when the network does launch, we will have a new segment on the show, kind of recapping what we watched on the network during
Yeah,
the
and
week.
I just want to let everybody know, for those of us who know, on the day of on the Tuesday, the network launches Monday, February 24th. Well, on Tuesday, February 25th, I'm going to put up the first blog on the website, and I'm going to review network thoroughly with pros, cons, and an overall scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
And so I'm going to put up one of the first webisodes of me interacting with the network on Tuesday, February 25th.
Awesome. I can't wait to check that out. I'll put it on our website, forlifepodcast.com, so everybody else can check it out.
It's going to be cool.
So we'll have our little segment. We can review what we've watched during the week,
Yeah.
whether it's old pay-per-views, any of the new shows, just to switch it up a bit. So that'll be our new segment, and we'll probably have a Mania segment coming up in the weeks leading to Mania. So a little more consistency on the show rather than us talking for an hour straight.
Especially before I go, we gotta do those Mania segments.
Yeah. And we'll figure out how we're gonna do Mania when you're gone.
Oh, I'm gonna get the app.
Oh, you're gonna, so we're gonna Skype from the hotel room?
Well, I mean, if you make it seem like that's a little gay, but yeah, that's it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying.
But it should be fun. I guess you can recap like your Mania experience, or
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, chronicalizing everything.
yeah. I mean, how long are you gonna be out there?
I'm gonna be in Texas from Thursday to Monday.
You're not staying for Raw?
I may be there for Raw. I may not, Bosh. I honestly don't know.
All right. Okay, so we can figure out like a schedule. Maybe we can do more than one podcast. Like you can kind of, if you want to like recap the Hall of Fame or recap, and then we can do Mania or leading into.
If we can, link up after, when I come back from Hall of Fame, that'd be cool too.
All right, yeah. So we can figure something.
It's an hour time difference, so.
Okay, so yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But we have like 2 more months.
Yeah, we got tons of time to figure all that stuff
And in
out.
1 month, we'll be appearing at the big event in
It'll
Queens.
be at the big event. Yeah.
I'm not. I know they changed the address, so I have to look up the new address. There's issues
I
with.
didn't know that.
Yeah, there was issues with the venue. It is in Queens, so it's like the Marriott in Queens. But unfortunately, we found out that Piper won't be appearing, so that
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
pissed me off. Because that was like the one person I was looking forward to meeting. But I mean, if any fans are going to be there, you can check it out. I think it's thebigevent.com. It's on our homepage. I'm gonna keep it up there until then. But you guys can definitely check it out. If you see us there, I'll be wearing my For Life Podcast T-shirt.
I don't have one, so I can't wear it.
I sent you. Oh, if you want to order one, let me know, and
Okay.
I'll send you the information.
Okay, fantastic.
But so we'll be meeting wrestlers. I don't know how to go about interviewing wrestlers for the podcast, or.
Well, I think that day we should just have fun and just recap it.
Yeah, let's have fun. We'll promote the show while we're there, but overall, yeah, we'll have a good time. See what old merchandise they have. See what
It's gonna
wrestlers.
be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I usually go to these conventions alone because I don't have anybody to go with, so it's gonna be fun to go with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I'm sure I'll be broke after that, but
Oh, forget it. I'm barely able to eat in Louisiana, all that spicy food. I'm having to spend on merchandise. But with that said, another fantastic episode, the Ironman, the commercial-free For Life podcast episode. Bosch, take us out, buddy.
All right, folks. Check out our website, forlifepodcast.com. Leave us feedback. Download our episodes. Subscribe on iTunes so they come straight to your device. That's about it. I hope everybody has a great week. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the world of wrestling. 2 more weeks for the network. So there we go. When you're listening to your podcast,
you're listening to it
for life.
So long, everybody.
Perhaps one of the most interesting words in the English language today is the word fuck. Fuck. Out of all the English words beginning with the letter F, fuck is the only word that is referred to as the F word.
You say the fuck word?
The F word.
Fuck word. You couldn't just break that. You had to use your own.
It is one of the most magical words. By its sound can describe pain, pleasure, hate, and love. Fuck, as most words in the English language, is derived from the German word frickin', which means to strike. Now, in the English language, fuck falls into many grammatical categories as a transitive verb. John fucked Mary.
Wait, John fucked Mary?
As an intransitive verb, Shirley fucks. Its meaning is not always sexual. It can be used in an adjective such as fuck. As an adverb, Shirley talks too fucking much. Wrap it up? Okay. Now.
Oh, jeez. Fuck! This motherfucker.
Well, there aren't many words with the versatility as fuck. As an example, describing a situation such as fraud. I got fucked at the used car lot today. What the hell is that?
Example of fuck. Fuck Bird Boy.
Well,
Fuck it. Just fuck it. It's over.
hold on. Fuck can also describe dissatisfaction. I don't like what's going on here. He's a fucking asshole. Dismissal. Why don't you go outside and go and play a game of hide and go fuck yourself? No. So say it loudly. Say it proudly.
That's right.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Fiona says she's out shopping, but she's under me. I'm not stopping. 'Cause Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. I can't believe he's so trusting, while I'm right behind you thrusting. Fiona's got him on the phone. Yeah, she's trying not to moan. It's a three-way call and he knows nothing. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty, 'cause Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. We'll put on a show. Everyone will go. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Why not? It's so cool when you're on top. His front lawn in the snow, laughing so hard 'cause Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. I did it